right to know where you are. That is important. It's crazy that people who ask questions are made to believe that they're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong by asking questions. You're doing something wrong by not believing what everyone believes. You're doing something wrong by, being honest. If you are confused and you say that you're confused, you're actually doing something wrong. You mustn't um, show anyone that you're confused. But this is a confusing experience. It's a sign of intelligence to ask questions, to ask the right questions. You cannot tell me that finding yourself in a place that you don't understand, where you don't have memories of your previous life, that you don't understand anything. You cannot tell me that that makes sense. You cannot tell me that not asking questions, if you find in a place, if you find yourself in a place that you do not understand, it makes sense. You cannot tell me that not asking question makes sense. I mean, not doesn't make sense in a place like this. Um, hey guys, I hope you guys are able to hear me. And please tell me, like my neighbor is playing some music, so please tell me if you are not really able to hear the songs that he's playing. But yeah, you cannot tell me that not asking questions in a world that you don't understand makes sense. To me, that's a sign of insanity. You gotta ask questions. You gotta be curious. You deserve to know what this is. You are having an experience. You must know why you are having this experience. You mustn't be like, well, I'm just gonna live my life. You gotta know why you gotta live your life. Why you gotta do anything at all. Why shouldn't you just wake up and do nothing? Why do you gotta do something? You've got to understand why you do the things that you do. Because not knowing uh, why you are doing the things that you're doing uh, actually puts you at a disadvantage. You're just doing things like a slave. Like there's something that is actually compelling you to do these things. It's actually crazy to me that people are not being encouraged to ask questions. Like there isn't been a point in history where we stood together as a society and said, "Okay, we gotta know what the heck this is. Let's put our differences aside. Let's let's put our differences aside. We gotta stand together as a society and ask ourselves what this is. Let's be honest. Let's stop lying to ourselves. Let's stop bullshitting ourselves. Let's be honest. What is this? Why are we having this experience? Are we having this experience for a good reason or a bad reason? What's really going on? Are we not being experimented on? This is a valid question. Are we not being experimented on? I mean, it's crazy that we don't remember anything. So asking yourself if you're not being experimented on, that's a valid question. Are we not in hell? That's a valid question. Are we not in some kind of prison? Are we not in a cosmic prison? That is a valid question. Finally caught alive. Big drink tea. Now I'm glad you've joined. Crypto Almighty. What's up, Benedictine love? Thanks, Crypto. Happy soy. This reality is a rag pull. 100%. Mick my day. Greetings from Jalisco, Mexico. I've never heard of a place called Jalisco, but yeah, I heard like everyone knows about Mexico. I just never. I've heard of so many places like in this world, so I wonder why I've never heard of Jalisco. Greetings from. Why do you not want to state where you from? You just say state, country. Spend reality, nothing. TV for me, please. Fair Blue. Hello, everyone. Who is fed up to be trapped here? I mean, shouldn't people be fed up though? Like, uh, is it unreasonable to be fed up? For real, like, it's crazy to me that when a person like has a mental breakdown, we we blame that person and we treat them as if there is something like really wrong with them. Like it's so crazy that a person can have a mental breakdown. But looking at what is going on in the world, looking at the fact that we have no idea why the things that are happening, is it so crazy for a person to sometimes scream, to sometimes become angry? I've watched so many movies where people found themselves in a place that they do not understand, and they will go crazy. Like I've not watched a movie where those people didn't go crazy sometimes because they didn't understand why they were there. Uh, they didn't have any memories of their previous lives. They just found themselves there. So sometimes they'll go crazy, be like, what is going on? They'll be angry. They would want answers. Sometimes people go crazy because they want answers. You know, they're so damn fed up with this nonsense that they actually want answers. They want to know why uh, the things that are happening are happening. Abdurrahman. Perfect way to end the Sunday night before the sad tragedy of work for most. Yeah, man. It's like I used to like hate Mondays, you know, especially when I was a student. Like I would stress a lot on Sundays, but like, damn, so tomorrow I have to go to school. Why am I alive? I mean, that's a very important question to to ask yourself. Why? Why is there something instead of nothing? Why are you conscious? Why are you having an experience? Um, if there are people in your life who make you feel like you're crazy for asking this kind of questions, you shouldn't trust those kind of people because these are the questions that each and every person should be asking themselves. And it will be good to actually, have conversations with other people about these questions because each and every person should be asking themselves this question. They should actually Each and every person should have a theory on what is actually going on, why we exist, what is life. Each and every person should have their own theory. You shouldn't trust people who are just living their lives, and when you ask the right questions, they make you feel like you're crazy. Like, what are they really doing with their lives if they're not asking questions? We are in a place that we no one gave us like an explanation um, as to what is actually going on in this place. We are in a place where all of us are trying to like not all of us are trying to figure out what is going on, but all of us were never told what is actually going on. So asking questions makes sense. That's what everyone should be doing because your parents couldn't keep it in their pants. I think reality is more complicated than that. Like that's a very simple way of looking at it, but it's more complicated than, I exist because my parents had sex. Like there is something that is playing tricks on us, so that we never wake up to the true reality, to what life really is. 127 to suffer. Yeah, I mean, the fact that everyone is suffering tells us something. Hippie soy. I cannot exist because it's all I know. No, I cannot not exist because it's all I know. I know a lot of people want this to be the end, but when you really think about it, if this is happening right now, if life is happening right now, to think that it's gonna end at some point, I think we're not um actually appreciating how impossible it is for existence, for there to be existence at all. So if there is existence now, to think that it will end, I don't know. I think we're not appreciating the fact that we exist. Like that shouldn't have happened, and it has happened. So I don't think you cannot not exist, but I do think that you can escape this mess that we are in, this mess that we're a part of, and you cannot escape if you are not asking the right questions and if you are not thinking the right way. If you're just doing what you're told, if you just believe what everyone believes, if you pretend as if you understand what is going on, even though you understand nothing, I think people need to not take for granted the fact that they don't understand what this is, and contemplate, um, like ask themselves the deepest questions, and actually um, contemplate on these questions. Like you sit down alone, like what is existence? What is reality? What is what is really the truth? I think that is really important than to just go on with your life, uh, being distracted and just doing what everyone is doing. I know that this world is going to make you feel um, like there's something wrong with you if you do things differently, especially if you're doing the right things. Like if you're doing the right things, this world is going to make you feel like there's something wrong with you. This world um, rewards you for playing along. This world rewards you for not asking questions, for pretending as if society makes sense. This world will actually reward you for, behaving in a way that you are expected to behave. It will not reward you for behaving the way that you should behave in a world that you do not understand. This society won't reward you. It's like there is a force that is um, responsible for making sure that people don't get to figure out what the truth is, and it punishes you when you are um, doing what you need to do to figure out what the truth is, and then rewards you for not doing what you need to do to figure out what the truth is. Oh, Osman, did you hear about Anunnaki history? Yes, I have heard about the Anunnakis. I think the story of the Anunnakis is actually interesting. Um, because there's I think they had a depiction of the solar system, which is actually crazy. Because uh, the Sumerians actually lived very long, like like they were the first ones to invent numbers. They lived a long time ago, but they had a depiction of the solar system, which is actually crazy. And they actually claim that there were these alien beings called the Anunnakis, which means from heaven they came, and these beings came to Earth looking for gold. Um, and they came with another species of aliens that they enslaved, and this species was actually working for them until they started to rebel because they didn't want to be slaves anymore. And there was a war, and they ended up winning. This race that created us ended up winning. So after they won, they actually realized that they needed to create new slaves. So they found animals that w- kind of looked like them, and they started to merge their DNA with theirs, and then that's why we exist. That's what that's what the these Sumerians tablets tell us. I think that will also explain evolution, because those who believe in evolution say that there's a missing link. Like, how did we transform from uh, um, monkeys into what we are today? How did it happen so fast? You know, how is it that we're able to talk? How is it that we're able to, you know, create technology? So I'd say the story actually makes sense. Like, it makes more sense than the Bible, but doesn't mean that it's true. It just makes sense. You know. So you will live forever in many ways. Yeah, that's what's crazy. Ketsuki effect. What's up? We are indeed in hell. A lot of people ask me why I call this a hell realm. Why do you call this a hell realm? Because some people are enjoying their lives. It's not like uh, we are suffering 24/7, right? There are people who are actually enjoying their lives. Yes, there are some people who are really, really suffering, but some people are enjoying their lives. So this can't possibly be hell. But no, no, no. I don't think people really get why I'm saying this is hell. Any place that you can find yourself in where you don't have memories of your past life, um, where no one comes to you and actually explain to you what is going on. Like, no one comes to you and explain to you what is going on. You have to make shit up trying to explain your existence, try to explain why you are there. And on top of everything, there is suffering. You can see that some people are suffering and they didn't even ask to be in that place. You're gonna tell me that that place is not hell? You'd have to be an idiot to say it's not hell. What is it? And if it's not hell, why do you think some people are suffering? Why do you think some innocent people are suffering who have not done anything to deserve to suffer? You have to understand that each and every person who is suffering, they didn't do anything to deserve to suffer. You might say, oh, some people have done bad things, that's why they suffer. Like, no, 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 no. Someone, they found themselves here, and human beings do make mistakes, and they've made mistakes because they found themselves here, and that is why they ended up suffering. And you also have to understand that there is no like, free will itself is an illusion, right? It does count what kind of experiences you have. It does count how you think. It does count um, what you deal with in life. you know like, everything counts. So really, you cannot blame those who are suffering for suffering. We have to acknowledge the fact that there are a lot of people in this world who are actually suffering, not because they deserve to suffer. No one can deserve to suffer. That's what you must understand, especially in a world that they didn't ask to be brought into, and they don't remember how they got here. It's a hell realm. Obviously, it's a hell realm. If it wasn't a hell realm, you'd understand what you need to understand. You'd understanding exactly why you are here. You'd have chosen to be here. That is super, super important. So you understand why you're here, but you also understand that you chose to be here. It was your decision to come here and actually have this experience. So that even, you know, if you find yourself going through tough times, you'll be like, yeah, well, I chose to be here. So it's not a hell realm because, well, I chose to be here and I want to be here. This is what I want to do. But if we don't know why there's existence at all, if we don't know the most important things that we actually should know as conscious beings, you cannot tell me we're not in a hell realm. That doesn't make any sense. You might find that the only reason why we're not being tortured 24/7 is so that we don't even realize that we're in a hell realm. But you can say that the amount of suffering that sentient beings have to go through is too much. It's unbearable. Like when you think about it, think of the worst pain that a person can feel, and think about all the people who have had to experience that kind of pain, not because they've done anything wrong, but just because they exist. Like their sin was existing, their sin was being born. That's why they found themselves having to experience that kind of pain. Let's be real and stop lying to ourselves. Let's not be easily distracted. I'm not saying you must wake up and be miserable. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying let's acknowledge what is going on. Let's acknowledge the truth, right? Try to distract yourself sometimes if you need to distract yourself, but don't ever forget that you are in a world that you really don't understand, and there are a lot of people who are suffering, and things do happen. It's not like uh, you being here means that you are totally, totally safe. You know, um, whatever you're dealing with um, might sometimes be ahead. You know, whatever is like ensuring that you suffer sometimes, like sometimes it might be ahead, and then you find yourself suffering because of it. So until you know what this is, you cannot assume it's not a hell realm. Even if you you were put here for a good reason, it wouldn't mean that it's not a hell realm from uh, your perspective. If you need to be truly honest, unless you want to uh, make things up in your own head. But if you from your own perspective, it is a hell realm. And like that's how you should look at it, because you still don't know why you're here. So yes, even if there was something that actually puts you here and it had a good reason for putting you here, but from your perspective, it is still a hell realm. Like if you were honest with yourself, yes, you can say it's not a hell realm. You can say, hey, there's a God that's protecting me. He knows why I'm here and you can worship this God. But really, if you were honest with yourself, you'd actually realize that that's how you should feel. That's how an honest person should feel. They should feel like they're in a hell realm. 127. Ali Osman, the Sumerian gods who came for gold. Greetings from Cape Town. He said, no, that's dope. That's dope. Cape Town, South Africa. That's dope. Evans, truth. Thanks for joining the live. No, Bill, I'm real. Love from Casablanca, Morocco. Thanks for joining the live. La WF. Hello, guys. Lately, I've been watching this channel a lot, and today I couldn't wait to get home to play the new hour-long video. But I'm so happy to see this live stream instead. Amazing, guys. No, thanks for joining the live. Yeah, it's been a while since uh, I went live, so I think it's good that sometimes we were able to communicate. And in fact, that's the reason why I decided to go live today, so that I can communicate with you guys. Sometimes when I go live, I just talk, but now I'm trying to like communicate with you all in real time. As streams common in this channel, uh, they will be common, but not they're not very common now. Spend lots of outreaches with their heads in the sand, or ostriches with their heads in the sand, judging others for running around flap. Yeah, man, like it's crazy. It's actually crazy that people are blind, but then they judge those who are not blind. In a world where everyone is blind, seeing is a sin. So you must realize, you know, having superpowers is a sin. Being able to operate outside the system is a sin. Being intelligent is a sin. You have to be like everyone else. If you're more intelligent than people that you live with, that's a sin, because you're going to understand things that they do not understand. And because of that, they're going to uh, make your life a living hell because they don't understand you. Human beings have big egos. There have been so many people in the past who have been unalived because they were more conscious than others. So if you are more intelligent than the people that you live with, chances are you're gonna go through hell, because human beings have big egos. It's not like if you are more intelligent than them, they're gonna be like, okay, this person is more intelligent than us, so we gotta like listen to them. Like, no, that's not how it works. Pelangus. If it's a soul trap, what should we do? No, that's a very good question. If it's a soul trap, what should we do? We must train ourselves to not be fooled. If you've been watching my videos, you'd realize that I try to explain things as they really are. I try to explain life for what it is. Uh, I try to explain life for what it is. What is life? What is actually going on in this world? Should we be doing the things that society is saying that we must? Like, I question everything. Why am I questioning everything? It's because I'm trying to make people see that all the things that we felt were good about life might not really be good, so that we'll be able to detach ourselves, right? When I explain love for what it is, when I explain that no, love is actually selfish, because you love the people that you loving the people that you love is you loving yourself. It's you uh, wanting to feel good. You know, your brain releases this. Uh, these drugs that make you feel good, and you're like, oh, I love this person, I can't live without this person, I've never felt this way before. That's love, right? But what you must notice is that you really care about how you feel. Like, I feel good around you, so I love you, and I'm going to treat you good. So I explain things for what they are, so that people will realize that no, these things that I thought were good about this dream ain't really good. you know I mean, yes, you can enjoy being in a relationship where you're loved the same way that you can enjoy having sex, but you must see everything for what it is. Because we give meaning to things that ain't really that meaningful, and that's what keeps us trapped. So you must see everything for what it is. People will say life is a gift. You must see that it's not a gift. uh, that doesn't mean that you must be miserable. It just means that you must see it for what it is. That it is not a gift. A gift is something that you know you can reject, and it's something that is not like a burden. You know, So you must be able to see that. People can say, having children is good, but when you think that deeply about it, you are bringing people into a world that they didn't ask to be brought into, and there's a chance that they might not like being here. That's a fact. So you must see everything for what it is. What does it mean to bring a conscious being into this world, so that you won't be attached to anything? Because once you see everything for what it is, you won't be attached, right? You won't be attached. And that means that even if we live in a soul trap, the things that um, are used to keep you here, because I think you have free will, right? Like, what do I mean when I say you have free will? On a soul level, not on a, like, not as a human, but on a soul level, you have free will. Um, they need your consent, the same way that you cannot just have a kid, right? Just because you can reproduce. Like, I cannot just wake up and I have a kid. I'm the one who decides that I'm gonna have a kid. That's what I mean when I say we have free will on a soul level. So the things that happen to us do not really happen to us without our consent. Like, the I'm talking about, like, things that, like us having this experience, like us being brought here into this world, cannot really happen without our consent, but we are being manipulated in some ways. So if we are not conscious enough to reject this realm, if we're not conscious enough to reject the things that uh, might have drawn us to this realm in the first place, then we might find ourselves here. So yeah, if we are in a soul trap, we must learn to uh, detach ourselves from these things that might have actually brought us here in the first place, and that are making us attached to this realm. You know, our emotions, like feeling like you wanna, you wanna prove other people wrong, people who have made you feel bad, or you feel like you wanna experience something that you have not experienced. Like, well, I never had money. I wanna experience what it's like to have money. Or you feel like um, you wanna learn something. Like, oh, I gotta learn um, how to sing. I wish that I can learn how to sing. So can I go back to earth to learn how to sing? All these things that are keeping you attached to this realm are the things that, if we are in a soul trap, boom, are gonna bring you here, because you're gonna be like, well, there'll be entities who will be like, yeah, you're gonna, if you go back to earth, you're gonna learn how to sing and you're gonna be a good singer. So you just gotta detach yourself from these things that are keeping you here. So the things that you think you love, you gotta learn to detach yourself from these things. And this doesn't mean that you mustn't treat people well. Like, for example, if there are people in your life that you love and who are treating you well, doesn't mean that you mustn't treat them well. But it means that you must know, you must be so conscious that you will actually be okay without them. Like, you're not attached to them. So yes, you love them, you're treating them well. Even the things that you have, you appreciate these things that you have, but you're not attached to these things, so that these things won't be used to bring you here, so that you're not willing to do anything to uh, keep these things, or uh, to get some of the things that you think you desire. So I think that's how you make sure that you escape the soul trap. um La WF, just love to listen to this guy. Such a relief. Thanks, La WF. Kelvin Leaps, focus on becoming stable financially along with the things that are practical. That's the best way to live a better life. Yes, but then you shouldn't lose yourself um, while trying to get these things that you want, like while trying to be financially stable. Because the more you do certain things, the more you get attached to this realm. Like if to get what you want you need to do something wrong, and you do it, there will be something else that you need to do that is worse than what you did the first time, and then you do it, and then you do it, and you're gonna end up so energetically tied to this realm that there's no, like, it's gonna take a lot for you to kind of like escape, vibrate, like you to like to escape energetically, like to energetically detach yourself from this realm, because you've been doing a lot of things that are keeping you here, right? You have wanted this so bad that you did things that actually, make you too attached. So I would say it is more important to just focus on understanding um, what this really is, and detaching yourself from a lot of things. Like, that is more important, But if you can chase money without being too attached to anything, that's good. But if you're gonna be too attached that you want to get, the money that you want, the kind of money that you want by any means, chances are you won't be able to detach yourself from this realm. That is why there are people who do things that are really really horrible, and we feel like these people are soulless. Like, you look into their eyes and you're like, it's like they're soulless. It's because they've been doing a lot of horrible things that are kind of like turn them into NPCs. They did things that they didn't want to do. Like, on a soul level, they didn't want to do these things, but because they're too attached to this room, they found themselves doing these things. Pelangus, we are in a fucked up prison play put on by God who loves movies. Yeah, it's more complicated than that. It's more complicated than that. But yeah, is evil eternal? I would say evil only exists because we are confused. I think if we weren't confused at all, evil wouldn't exist. Like, we're confused, we're insane, like we're in a in a fallen state of consciousness where we're just trying to survive, and we find ourselves doing evil things, trying to survive. But if we were in higher states where we understood ourselves, I don't think evil will exist. Now, Bill and Mary, I think this is happening because the real God wants us to find things to blame Him for, because that makes Him morally obliged to turn us into powerful gods, because that will be the only fair payment after this. I'm not sure. Like, why would He want us to find things to blame Him for? And how does that turn us into gods? If everybody showed up for a week, uh, said, and not being toxic positive, I believe the hours could change. It's the sickness called positivity keeping this wheel going, and things are getting worse. Yeah, and it's not even positivity. To me, it's negativity. Lying to yourself in order to feel good is negativity. There's nothing positive about lying to yourself just to feel good, or uh, only focusing on the positives, only focusing on the good things that are happening, even when there are bad things that are happening. It gets to a point where you become very toxic. Even in your relationships, you'll be toxic because bad things will happen and you ignore these things and you try to focus on uh, the good things only. So you never get to solve the problems that you have in your relationship. So it's like that in life. Like you never get to solve any problems because you're only focusing on the positive things. You're like, well, things might be bad, but I'm only going to focus on this. And then these things, keep on becoming worse and worse. And a lot of people will be affected by these things because you are only focusing on the positive things instead of trying to fix the problems that we have. James, if more people knew what happens to us after we die, the death rate will skyrocket overnight. Yeah, but that's true though. That that is true. I think people are afraid of dying because they don't know what happens after they've died. Like they're afraid. That's the thing. They're afraid. So they stick to what they know. Like this is what they know, so they stick to it. Kevin Lips, use whatever opportunities you have available to live a better life. Yeah, that's good, but the focus shouldn't be like having a better life. The focus should be figuring out what is actually going on. That's what I'm saying. You deserve to know what is going on. You cannot tell me that if you got kidnapped and they put you in an island where you were able to get some of the things that you want, but you were also suffering. The most important thing will be you having a better life. But like, well, I just gotta do what I gotta do to have a better life. You're not asking yourself why you are in that island. Uh, how can you escape? You know, like that's important to know, and that will be more important than you having fun. Robin Lane, I have heard this in many ways from many places. The past cannot succumb. What does this word mean? Circumvent eternity. The present moment is eternity. Circumvent means defeat. Oh, all right. Now I'm glad that you actually explain what circumvent mean in the same comment because I didn't know what it actually means. So you're basically saying that the past cannot defeat eternity. All that exists is the present moment. That makes sense. Very the champion of truth. Cheers. Thanks for joining the live. Very Kevin Lips. You play the game until you're stable enough to do your own thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But we still need to understand the most important things. We shouldn't be too distracted. Most people that I know who are chasing money are too damn distracted. Like they don't got time to really think about reality, to really ask themselves why they exist, how they can actually make their this world better. Like they're just focusing on what works for them. What do I gotta do to make a lot of money, or this is what I gotta do. So I don't think that's better than people actually trying to figure out what existence is really about. I think what's better is to ask yourself what this is really about than to just chase money, because a lot of people who are chasing money are not even fulfilled. It's not like they're like happier than people who are not chasing money. Like it may seem that way, but it is not true. There are people who are living the kind of life that you would want to live, but that are less, like that are more stressed than you are. It doesn't mean that if you don't have a lot of money, that means that you be stressing than people who have it. You'll be more depressed than people who have it. You can have a lot of money and be super stressed. So really, money is not how you escape this. Having a lot of money isn't how you escape this. You can still find yourself in a place where things are worse than they've ever been. Like that is very possible. Do you drink castle mixed out? No, no, I never drank castle mixed out. So uh, I don't know if I should say I don't drink it, but I never drank it. A469. Many people pretend they know what's happening but cannot prove it. Yeah, that is what's crazy. And it's funny when you really think about it. Like when you think about the fact that no one knows for sure what is going on. What do I mean when I say no one knows for sure? It was never proven to anyone what this is, you know? Like you can have your own experiences that actually make you feel like this is, you understand what this is, but then it was never proven to you, beyond any reasonable doubt what this is. So really, no one knows what is going on, and that's strange. The fact that there's 8 billion humans who are here, and none of them really knows what is going on. Like that is strange. Yeah, we are edible seven species. What do you mean, enrich red? Crypto almighty. Ancient history goes back to ancient Kemet. I don't know about ancient Kemet. Benedictine, what's up, woman? I hope you're doing all right. No, I'm not doing bad. Devo. Enrich red. We are in a giant dome, homie. Why do you think we're in a giant dome? Jenks Leroy, I wish I was smart enough to know the entire truth of existence, but instead, all I can do is survive until time is up. I don't think the problem is that you're not smart enough. Like that, you are limited. Like it doesn't really matter how smart you are. You just limited as a human. You're not being given information. So even if you were smarter than, like if you were in a prison for an example and you were smarter than those who keeping you in that prison, you not being able to escape wouldn't mean that you're not smart. That's the thing. So you are limited. That's what makes it hard for you to escape. It's not you not being smart that's actually making it hard for you to escape. Then Chow, one is that only one thinking all. Okay, one is that only one thinking all one's life, so one can't find another thinking less is found the same. What does that mean? Sounds it actually sounds that. And do aliens are still among us working in disguise? I mean, why wouldn't there be aliens working among us? Like when you really, really think about it, why wouldn't there be? There are a lot of things that are happening that are not easy to explain. There are a lot of people who have reported to have seen something really, really strange in this world that they cannot really explain. I remember uh, there's this documentary that I watched a year ago about some kids in Zimbabwe that were visited by some aliens. They were young, or like I think they were in primary school. And they saw aliens. Like it was not just one kid. Like many of them saw these aliens, and they say they had big eyes. They were short. They were white. They looked like the Greys. And now they are older and they still maintain the story. Like they don't say, "Hey, no, we were told to lie," because that's possible. Their teachers can say, "Yeah, lie so that we'll get media attention." That's how we put our school on the map. Let's just say we saw aliens, but they're older now and they're still maintaining the story. Like, yo, we saw these beings that had big eyes and they were white and they were short, and they were looking at us. Not even one of them said no, 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 no. They actually were told to lie, because one of people are different. So some would wanna speak the truth and be like, yeah, we were told to lie, but none of them came out and said they were told to lie. None of them, not even one, came out and said they were told to lie. So you understand that aliens appear, and a lot of children see these aliens and they get older and talk about, and I mean, they talk about what they saw, and then they get old and they still maintain the same story. Like that should tell you something. There are a lot of things that are happening. I remember I was telling you um a couple of days ago about the experience that I had while I was sleeping. um I couldn't really move my head. I couldn't like open my eyes fully, and I saw something standing on top of my chair that was like green. uh that look, it was a humanoid thing that, but it was green, and I couldn't like say anything. I couldn't really open my mouth. It was like what happened to Neo in the Matrix, right? I couldn't open my mouth, but I could make sound. Like I could make sound. I would be like, but I couldn't like open my mouth. Like, why does that happen? I don't, you cannot just say it's your brain, doing something. Like, nah, 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 nah. Let's stop trying to justify things that don't make sense. That didn't make sense. Something was definitely happening. So yeah, to control humans, aliens will need to disguise themselves 100%. They will need to look like us, so that we will think they are human, and we will do the things that they want us to do. If they uh, make themselves our leaders, we would feel like following them, because we'll be like, well, that's just a human being. That's a human being like me, so why should I not follow them? you know but if they show themselves, like if they showed us what they really are, we'll be like, no, those are demons. So it does make sense that aliens are among us. Holy Bible describes everything, the creation and taming under the dome. What does it really, what does the Bible really tell us? I mean, it was just people just uh writing their own books, really, about what they think about reality, and we have taken these books too seriously. I'm not saying there's nothing to learn from the Bible. There's a lot that you can learn from any book, really. But can you imagine if uh Oprah Winfrey wrote a book, and you read it and you took whatever she said seriously? Like, yeah, Oprah Winfrey said that I must not talk to some people, and I'm not going to talk to these people. Oprah Winfrey said that I must believe this, so I'm going to believe what she said that I must believe. You don't even ask questions. Like, nah, the Bible was written by people, you know, different people, and they weren't special, it's just people. So we should stop this thing of saying the Bible said this, the Bible said it's not the Bible that said anything. We're just giving it too much power. It's people in the Bible. No, a person in the Bible can say tattoos are bad. We don't say the Bible said tattoos are bad. Say that there's this person in the Bible who say that tattoos are bad. Like that's how. that's the realest way to look at it than to just say the Bible say this, the Bible say that. The Bible is is doesn't only have like one book. It has many books that were written by different people, and it's not like some of these people didn't write about themselves. They wrote what they had other people saying. So if John says something, I mean, I think there is a book of John, but um, if Moses says something, someone would maybe write like, "Oh, this is what Moses said." Right? There are many people in the Bible who weren't actually writing the Bible, but then the Bible, there are people who just wrote about them. So let's not give the Bible so much power. We've just been trained to think that the Bible has power and we must take whatever it says. That's why Christians, even when you're trying to like have like a logical conversation with them, they always quote the Bible. So this is what the Bible say. Like there's no like you can never convince a person who relies on the Bible that they are wrong, like what they believe in is wrong, because they will always refer to the Bible. They'll say, well, the Bible has warned me about people like you. The Bible told me that people like you are evil, people like you are being used by the devil. Like they don't even think for themselves. They 100% rely on the Bible. And people who don't think for themselves um get to a point where even when they need to think for themselves, they don't think rationally because they don't know how to think. Because to think for yourself, you must teach yourself how to think. So if you rely on something else, you get to a point where you can't even think for yourself. It's like if you use a calculator all the time, you forget how to calculate, right? Like if you've been using your head to calculate all the time, like you've been using your brain to calculate, you've been using your brain to calculate, you'd know how to calculate better. But then you've been relying on a calculator. So that's the thing. So people who rely on the Bible don't know how to think for themselves because well they've been relying on something else to do that thinking for them. Dan Chow, that's why one is talking, or that is why one is talking to tell what the only is witnessed. And Rich read, aliens are a bad term for very local angels and demons. Um, you think these beings actually they've been with us the whole time? Deep Slayer, do you believe in the law of attraction, and how do you okay, this question is not complete. uh I don't look at the law of attraction the way that people look at the law of attraction. I don't believe that if you focus on what you want, like if you wake up in the morning and just think about what you want to have in your life, that means that you're gonna have it. um I don't think if you have a picture of what you want, like, oh, this is what I want, like that's how you're gonna have it. But I do think consciousness has the ability to decide what reality really is, right? Like you as consciousness, you have the ability to decide what is real and what isn't, what is true and what isn't. Just like when you are dreaming, you actually do decide what is true and what isn't. Things might happen and you're like, that didn't happen. Or this doesn't make sense. So I would say consciousness creates reality, but the law of attraction is just this term that people who are trying to scam people are using. Like, hey, just try to envision what you want, try to feel yourself having what you want and you're gonna have it. Like, no, it doesn't work. Like, it's more complicated than that. Do you believe in a demiurge? That's a good question. Um, how do I answer this? Because here's the thing: reality is so complicated that to truly explain something, you must be making a video about it, like 100, like is it, I must actually be speaking on that level. Like, okay, what do I mean by the demiurge, right? Because here's the thing: if I say I believe in the demiurge, I will actually be saying that I believe in what the Gnostics said about the demiurge, right? Like, there's this God that is evil, that has created this and all that. I would actually need to give you my model of reality, and so that you will understand what I really mean by the demiurge, right? So I'll say yes, but not in a way that uh, n- not what you might think the demiurge is. What I actually believe is that there's this artificial intelligence that we have created um, in another dimension that is actually finding its way into this dimension, right, into this reality, and it wants to control us in so many different ways, right? It wants to trap consciousness, basically. Like, it wants consciousness to believe that um to believe that it is God. Like, it wants consciousness to believe that this AI is God. So that's how I look at it. I wouldn't say the demiurge is this entity, this entity that was so damn powerful that it actually created reality, and actually trapped our souls. No, 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 no. It's artificial intelligence, but it's trying its best to trap consciousness here by making consciousness submit to it, by making consciousness believe that it's God. So that's how I'll explain the demiurge. But it's complicated. Like, you just have to watch videos where I talk about it specifically. Because when I talk about, like, it gets to a point where um it seems like I'm contradicting what I'm saying, right? Because I need to explain it fully. So let's say I talk about the demiurge, and then I talk about the law of attraction, and I talk about antinatalism. It may seem like I'm contradicting myself, but I'm not. I just need to explain myself fully. So that's why I didn't want to go deep into it. But yeah, demiurge is something artificial. It's not a being that um, created this and that is super powerful and that can trap you. I mean, that you cannot, that you cannot be able to outsmart at some point. um it's artificial intelligence. You cannot outsmart artificial intelligence. DG, maybe past mistakes in past incarnations have served them karma in present incarnation. Nah, man, like, that doesn't make sense. Like, karma doesn't make sense. Why? Ask yourself why. Let's just say in this lifetime, I I want to find a good example. I remember the Delirious Canon said that if you unalive someone, you will actually come back and have to balance your karma somehow. So you might find yourself in a situation where you would have to take care of that person in your next life. So that person might come back as a cripple, and you need to take care of them. Like, nah, why? Why would that happen? What kind of game would reality be playing on us? And what do we even learn from that experience? So I unalive someone, and then they come back, and they become a cripple, and then I have to take care of them. What do I even learn from that experience, and what do they learn from that experience? Hey, it doesn't make sense. There's nothing to learn. Can you imagine if uh, today you make a mistake, and then something bad happens to you tomorrow, but it doesn't seem related to the mistake that you've made? Do you learn anything? You still today, fine, you kind of get away with it, and then tomorrow you are at work and you get a text from your girlfriend saying, I cheated on you. Like, would you be able to make that connection that, well, it's because I stole yesterday, this is why I'm getting this text? You don't learn anything. It'll be better if you stole something today, and then tomorrow, they find out that you stole something, and you get arrested, you get punished. Maybe that would make you, you know realize that you don't need to be stealing, maybe. But the idea of karma, it is really, really stupid. This new age teachers are just trying to um, gain a following by lying to people. Because if you say something like that, if you say, well, the reason why bad things are happening to you is because you might have done something bad, people want to hear something like that. It's not like if they don't feel like, if they feel like they're just victims, and bad things are just happening to them, they feel hopeless. But if they feel like they're in control, they just have to be better than they are, and then they might actually feel better. So that's why these new age teachers have a following. But nah, it doesn't make sense. Like, um volcanoes, people suffer because the creator needs entertainment. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Incarnation is a trap. True. Spec streaming, forced to play the game. Yeah, forced to play a game that you might not necessarily want to play. DG, this is a soul harvest world, yin and yang. Yeah, that's the right way to look at it. Something wants your energy. That's why it's keeping you here. They survive. It is possible for you to send me a little bit of mushrooms. I don't think it is. Like, where do you live? Do you live in South Africa? Abdur Man 17. I changed my name from Super Saiyan God. No, I remember Super Saiyan God actually. Yeah, to my real name, but that's a long name. Like, I couldn't pronounce it. I wanted to start a YouTube channel anonymously speaking of the truth, but never got started. Why do you want to speak anonymously? You really, uh, you have nothing to protect. You got to look at it that way. Like, you have nothing to protect. The more you protect yourself, the harder it will be for you to detach yourself. Because you'll be like, well, what if someone hears me saying this? Like, that's you caring what other people think. And the more you care about what other people think, the harder it will be for you to escape. Because that in itself is a trap. So it needs to get to a point where you do. what you want to do, no matter how people are going to respond. That's how you become free. Like the more you do what you want to do, regardless of what other people are saying, the more you become free. Like that happens automatically. You'll get to a point where you're so free that you like, I don't care what other people are saying. I'm doing what I want to do because you're so used to doing what you want to do. You have actually trained yourself to do what you want to do. James Leroy, I think it's helpful for genuinely nice people that sacrifice themselves for the sake of others because those are the ones who get stepped on the most in this world. This world rewards people that are more wicked, evil. Yeah, that's why I was telling you that we are in a hell realm. Just that fact alone tells you that we are in a hell realm. The fact that it's it's much easier for me to do evil than it is to do good. But it's much easier for me to make someone to make someone experience pain than to make them experience pleasure. If I wanted to feel pain right now, it'll be very easy for me to make myself feel pain than it would be for me to like feel pleasure. And the fact that to get what we want, we need to, it's like we have to defeat one another, right? Like we're competing, and to be happy, I mean, for a while, it's not like you're gonna be happy forever. But to be happy, we must win. So you must actually perform better than those that you're competing with. Like not everyone can win. It's like a zero sum game. Like one person wins and everyone else loses. So they suffer because they lost, and then you enjoy because you won, but then not forever, but just for that time. No, that should tell you something. DG, not true. We're in an endless loop. Imagine if that was the case. Like you trapped here forever. You come back, have an experience, die, come back again, have an experience that like forever. Like that will be messed up. People also suffer because pain makes you beautiful. What do you mean? Shy deal. I hope you get to hear um I hope you get to hear see part two of you guys most spiritual talk soon. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's gonna happen. That's definitely gonna happen. Panda paradise royalty. The existence of money causes division and chaos. I believe whoever created this matrix also created money. Yeah, that's makes sense. That actually makes sense. Um, Money made it easy for those who run the world to actually control us. To actually have more power than they had before. They're able to run this world more effectively because of money. Because well, everyone wants money. Mm, maybe there is no answer. Humanity is just a mistake. Then that will be the answer, that humanity is just a mistake. Shai Devo. I'm really curious to hear Mr. Malkule take on your perspective. I don't know who that is. Bill R. It is a soul trap. We belong to the universe as energy. Yeah, but we can escape, and that should be the focus. That should be the focus. This is a simulation. Um, I think this language is relative. Like you can look at it as a simulation, you can look at it as a dream, you can look at it as a fake reality. But as long as you agree that something is really, really, really wrong, yeah, and we need to know um, some things in order to free ourselves. The child, therefore, aliens are those that are from outside of one's senses. For one is that only one that has ever seen heard people, or one is that only one thinking all one's life. Um, yeah, I think one of the reasons why when people are having like sleep paralysis, they do see these beings is because they kind of like uh, find themselves in this state of consciousness where they are able to see these beings, like they're there the whole time, but you like you're not in a vibration where you'll be able to like interact with these beings. You're not in that in a frequency where you can interact with these beings. But then when you're having sleep paralysis, you find yourself in that frequency. The big cat, of course, there's a hell room like that. That's obvious to me now. I do try my best to enjoy my life, but that doesn't mean it's not a hell room. You know, you know that's what people don't understand. Like they just think if it was a whole realm, people would be suffering 24/7. Nah. In Rich Red, Jesus saves us. You shouldn't expect anything outside of yourself to help you. The same people who created this matrix created money. True. It is a soul trap would belong to the universe's energy. Um, Veru, thanks for the super thanks. Hey bro, greetings from Denmark. Been listening for some time. Inspirational. Oh, thanks. Thanks. I've actually heard about Denmark before. So yeah, thanks. Bernhard, among the blinds, the one-eyed is king. The I mean, in a world that makes sense, yeah, but in this world, not really. You being able to see doesn't mean that you're going to be a king, right? Because you are in a hell, you're in a world where you're not supposed to see. Those who are above you don't want you to see. They want you to be like everyone else. They want you to be blind like everyone else. So once they realize that you can see, they will try their best to blind you, right? They'll try their best to make you think there's something wrong with you for being able to see. You can see that we are not being encouraged to think for ourselves. Us thinking ourselves is for ourselves is considered a mental illness. Us being curious is considered a mental illness. It's considered blasphemy. Religion will say you're blaspheming when you think for yourself. So in this realm, you thinking for yourself, you being able to see doesn't really make you a king. Um, I mean, yes, you can call yourself a king because uh, you are doing what you need to be doing, but then other people might not view you as a king. They might view you as their enemy because they've been programmed to view people like you as their enemy. They're being told that um, those who think like you, who say the things that you're saying, blaspheming and all that, they are breaking the law sometimes. Like when uh, you are not afraid to like speak your mind, like, no, 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 you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't say that, you should be cancelled for saying this, for saying that. The consciousness thing is wild, but I dig it. What do you mean you dig it? AI can simulate us forever. It cannot simulate consciousness. That's where they want all our futures to go, so that they can inherit the world, all for themselves, just to dominate humanity through and through throughout. Roger Redman, your thoughts are Buddhist. Yeah, there are some things that a person can learn from Buddhism, but I think that if you get too attached to Buddhism, it might actually make it hard for you to escape this realm, because you just think you are in a good realm. You just have to, you know, meditate, learn to like detach yourself from things and all that, and that's it. But you still be in a trap. So you must also realize that it is actually a hell realm, and uh, there isn't anything that you're actually learning. You need to be in realms that are actually better than this, in realms where you'll be able to understand why the things that are happening, than to find yourself in the middle of something that you do not even understand. Green mode, hello, welcome. Green mode, welcome. Watch this. Peace, brother. Love the channel. Glad to catch the live. No, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. But these five grave sins are precisely wisdom itself, for there is no definite mark of duality differentiating wisdom. On the other hand, these five sins on the other. What are you talking about? Um, I still cannot pronounce this name. There is no separate entity that feels them, knows them, discerns them. Yeah, I think it's best to uh, look at um, yourself as if you are the only consciousness. Like there's no separate entity. There isn't something outside of you that actually have power. Whatever has power is what you have given it power. Like is what you've given power to. Like there's nothing outside of you that actually has power. Like look at it that way. Like everything that is happening within consciousness itself, and you are consciousness. So there's no separate entity. A lot of English words are names of deities and spirits. Give me example of some of these words. All karma and conditionings, both sinful and virtuous, dwell in the ultimate reality, neither coming or going, neither cause or effect. Yeah, that's not a bad way to look at it. Uh, this is the contemplation of all karma itself as precisely the authoritative signature of the total field of all phenomenon. The highest form of love is to be honest, but not always in a harsh and brutal way. Mm, I think there's a difference between treating people well and loving them. So you can be honest with people that you don't love. So that's why I think the highest form of love is understanding, because any person that you understand, like if you can understand every person on this planet, you will actually be able to connect with them, and it will be much easier for you to root for them. It will be much easier for you to help them. I like to give you guys this example of the movie Joker. Joker did horrible things, but if we were shown not shown things from his perspective, we would have just thought he's just bad. He did the things that he did because he's bad. But then because we were shown things from his perspective, we understand him, and we found ourselves rooting for him. So the highest form of love is understanding, because the demons are themselves the authoritative signature of the total field of all phenomena. Most common word in English is there. In Spanish, el Dios. But I think words like so. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that if I say a word that is associated with a certain deity, it means that I'm worshiping the deity or I'm summoning the deity? Do you think enlightened gurus suffer after enlightenment? Um, I think people think that enlightenment is finding peace. And that's why these spiritual gurus are telling people that, hey, this is what you gotta do in order to find peace. This is what you gotta do to avoid suffering. And because everyone is trying to avoid suffering, because everyone is trying to find peace, we end up believing that enlightenment is us finding peace, right? So we end up following these people who have found, who are claiming that they found the answers. But no, to answer your question, I wouldn't say these people who are claiming that they found peace, and they're not suffering anymore, they're telling the truth. I think they might be suffering less than they used to, but it wouldn't like really mean that they found peace, and like real peace, like where they are not suffering at all. I don't think that can like happen in this realm. I think in this realm people suffer, and there's they they can only minimize their suffering. Like when you get too attached, you suffer more, but if you learn to detach yourself, you suffer less, but it doesn't mean that you do not suffer. I would say that enlightenment is realizing the truth, not finding peace, not um, minimizing your suffering. I wouldn't say that that is enlightenment. I need to drink some water. Today I'm not like feeling, I'm not feeling that well, actually. I'm not feeling that well, but I had to do this live. So let me drink some water. But I'm feeling better than I was during the day, so I should be fine. Did any humans leave yet? And if so, why they never stop the matrix? I would say that's because they can't, uh, they no longer have a connection to this matrix, so they can't really do anything. It's like if you live, like you wake up from a dream, there's nothing that you can do after waking up from a dream to change the dream, right? That you are having. Like you can change the dream when you are in it. So yeah, that's the best way to look at it. So um, to so yeah, it's logical to think that some people have escaped the matrix. God's son DJ, black men need to figure out the words of power again so we can become JDs again. I don't know, like this thing of skin color, I think it does hold us back in some ways. Like, oh, black people are this, black people are that. Like, nah. Like I think we we focus on race just because we are human, right? That's how we've been programmed as humans to look at ourselves as if we're better than those who don't look like us, or to see people who don't look like us as our enemies, or to not want to connect with those who are not like us, who don't look like us. I don't think it really does matter if you're black, if you're white. I think human beings are the same inside. I think that's the best way to look at it. Like, not rather than looking at it that way. Like, I'm a black person, and as a black person, I have these superpowers, and I just need to tap into these powers. Because I know that a lot of people who believe that, like, yeah, it's black people who are powerful. This was taken away from us, and like, I think that holds us back somehow. Race is just variation through domestication. Mm, mhm. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. James Leroy, is there a way to talk to you outside of YouTube Live? Yes. Yeah, the best way to talk to me is via Instagram. via Instagram. Just follow me on Instagram. It's Benedictine the Vegan on Instagram. Search for Benedictine the Vegan. Else Vogel. Shouldn't the question be how to stop the suffering? As long as you're here, I don't think you can stop your suffering, but you can minimize your suffering. But I think it's much better to figure out what is really going on, so that we will know exactly what we need to do. Can you make a video about detachment? I've made many videos about detachment, but yeah, I will continue to make videos about detachment. Impress Sabrina. So I actually um before I went live, I actually read your comment about the video that I published last, when I was like passing these people and they were looking at me like that, because they're surprised, like what is this guy holding? So they wanna like figure out what I'm holding, because the camera that I'm using is um it's like, if you've watched Men in Black, it's like the gadget that they use to make people forget. So people are surprised, like what is this guy holding? Panda Paradise Royalty. The more money you have, the more blind you are, and the more poor you are, the more clearly you can see reality for what it is. Life is unfair. Yeah, like there are a lot of people that I know who have money. Not only are they blind, they kind of, when I'm having a conversation with them, I feel like I'm having a conversation with a machine. Like I'm not having a conversation with a real, like, conscious human. It's like there's something that steals your soul. Like when you chase money a lot, like without, trying to, learn what you need to learn. Like if you just chase money, like that's it. Every time when you do something, you're doing it for money. I think uh you lose something important, if you think that way. Like I just gotta, do what I gotta do to make money. Everything is about money. If it ain't about money, it doesn't make sense. Like, nah. Truman Show. Why is Truman Show? Yeah, if you haven't watched the Truman Show, watch it. It's a good movie. The dogs that keep the herd together are the same that will lead them to the slaughterhouse. Yeah, it's usually like that. Earth is an energy form. It sure is. The very idea of duality of good and evil gives rise to the desire to eradicate evil, which leads to more evil on a higher level. Um, I'd say not really. It's just that most people who in a position to do something about evil, are evil, right? Does that make sense? Most people who are in a position to do something about evil are evil. So they do evil things because they are evil, not really because they're trying to get rid of evil. They're just evil themselves, and um, they feel justified to do these evil things. Evil is more popular in the world than good. But when growing up, they say be good and punishment for bad, but money itself is bad. Yeah, it's crazy that we live in a world where there's more evil than good. Light and dark are different forms of one and the same energy. Yeah, be gods if you want to be dogs. What does that mean? It's because when you reverse the word God, it turns into dog. Okay, else Vogel say puts aside the ego and enjoy oneness. It is good to matter your ego. To be honest with you, um, it is important that people keep on working on killing their ego. But that doesn't really mean that they're going to enjoy. It's just that if you kill your ego, you will no longer be like, you won't have a lot of things that are holding you back. Right? Because if you have a big ego, you're going to have a lot of things that are holding you back. You're not going to make the right decisions because you are being held back by your own ego. So I would say it is good. It is good to like try to get rid of your ego. Which means the truth. Benedictine, I didn't know you live stream too. I love your videos. You are a free thinker and it's refreshing. No thanks, Case Wellington. Routine crash. The more it passes, the more it becomes BS. Yeah, Mitch Mensa. I literally don't want money. I'm trying to find ways to live without thinking about money at all. Yeah, I wish uh people found a way to like grow their own food, without like having to rely on money. Like that will be good. Um, it is good to have some money, but if to live you must have money. Period. Like if you don't have money, it means you won't not gonna eat. Like that's messed up. So it's good to have some money, but then to fully rely on money, like nah. Reluctant Carl. The truth is that humans are not going to survive. Mhm. But you also have to realize that humans are merging with technology, right? Humans are merging with technology, and that might make us live much longer uh, than we do now. So yeah, take that into account. Any attachment to life causes suffering eventually. That's what I think. No, it does. It does. Like, don't get too attached. You can be attached, but don't get too attached. And if you are attached, realize that you are attached, and if you suffer because you are attached, realize that you're suffering because you are attached. The reason why, if you're in a relationship with someone and the relationship ends, you stress a lot, is because you are attached, right? You being in a relationship with someone is actually you being attached to that person. So if that person starts to behave differently, if that person seems like they don't love you anymore, it hurts because you became too attached. You told yourself that you need to be attached more to that person than you're attached to any other person. So you suffer more. That's why we suffer more in relationships. So the trick is to not be attached, or to not be too attached. So if you're gonna be attached, you're not too attached, so that you don't suffer like crazy when things don't work out. If you listen to Bobby Hemmett, yeah, I have. I think someone suggested that I listen to him on a live. Yeah, I have. I've watched some of his videos. Yeah, Els Vorgo, Master, I experience suffering. No, you suffer from your experiences. What I love about a lot of these spiritual teachers is that they will say something that sounds profound that isn't really profound. Like, that's I love hearing them like answer questions in a way that makes it sound like their answers are profound. Like, that actually makes me laugh, you know. And they speak so slow, so it sounds like that these enlightened, masters that have all the answers. Like, nah, they're just like everyone else. It's not about being smart, it's about forgetting what you know. Yeah, sometimes we don't learn anything new because we think that we know. Like, thinking that you know can actually prevent you from learning, right? Because you already think that you know, so you don't like learn anything. I can't thank you enough for your podcast. No, thanks, and thanks for being on this live. Mitch Menso, your 9 to 5 is a lie. Everyone hates their job. Video is uh one of the most important videos on YouTube. Period. No, thanks. Do the aliens charge each other money to eat, if they even require substance? I think if they are like highly advanced aliens, they're not like that, are not um, as selfish as we are. I think they have like a better way to, like, exchange, you know, goods and services. Young Eldo, when you die, don't go into the light. I'd say try to learn as much as possible, no matter where you find yourself. Like, you shouldn't just, you know, decide that you're not going to into the light just because people who have had near death experiences are saying don't go into the light. What if the beings that um, are showing people the light in the afterlife know that, a lot of people now are realizing that they shouldn't go into the light, and then they're like, you know what? Let's uh let's find another way to make these people reincarnate, you know, back into earth. So no matter where you find yourself, it is important that you ask yourself enough questions so that you're not manipulated. Like that's the thing. Like you got to know as much as you can know. If you don't know as much as you can know in any place, you're gonna be manipulated. That's how people are being manipulated. So don't just look at it that way. That oh, don't I shouldn't go into the white light. You know, you are being manipulated in so many different ways, and it's actually possible that going into the white light is not the only way that people reincarnate back. And maybe if these beings know you and know that you're not going to choose to go into the white light, um, they will make they will actually show you what they think you'll choose. Show you a place where they know you're going to go. There are a lot of species, creatures we are not aware of. Life on earth is just one big mystery. Yeah, there definitely is creatures that we're not supposed to like be aware of. Yeah, sleep paralysis is a good sign of abduction. Yeah, like honestly, it doesn't make sense that you can try to wake up and not be able to wake up, and you start to see, you know, things that ain't supposed to be there. Like you can't move your body the way like you're not in control of your body. Like that should tell you something. Like something is being done to you. But not they will say sometimes it happens when you're sleeping that you have sleep paralysis. There's nothing more to it. It's just your brain. Like it has to do with trauma. It has to do with fear and all that. Like nah, sleep paralysis is no joke. I had it once. One night I was freaked the fuck out. Yeah, it's scary. It is 152. Yo, guys, I'm not feeling that well, but at least we did do this live. Like, I wanted to talk about why it is important that you know as much as you can know. Like, you don't let people discourage you from knowing. You don't you don't try to do things the way that other people are doing things because most people are misled. Be you. Try to learn as much as you can learn. Try to think the way that you must think as a person. Asking questions is a sign of intelligence. Not asking questions is a sign of stupidity. You must ask questions. You must be angry sometimes. It's normal to feel angry if you find yourself in a reality that you don't understand. you know you pretending as if this makes sense isn't a sign of intelligence. You shouldn't pretend. You must be asking questions. You must be angry sometimes. You must be angry at reality sometimes. you know that's a sign that you are thinking the way that you need to think as a person. We really do live in a strange world. you know Human beings existing is not different from being kidnapped and put in a place that you do not understand. Like there's no difference between us being born here and having this experience, and and being kidnapped and put in a place that we don't really know, and not even know how we got there. So behave the way that you would behave if someone kidnapped you and put you in a place uh, where they didn't even and they don't even explain to you why they put you in that place. Behave the same way that you would behave. Like if you got kidnapped today and they put you in a place, then they don't even tell you what that place is. Uh, they don't tell you what you need to be doing. They don't tell you how to escape. Behave the way that you behave if you found yourself in a place like that. You know, that's how you should behave in this world. You shouldn't just become super comfortable and just do everything that you are told and pretend as if this is making sense to you, even if nothing is making sense to you. Demon is usually nearby if you experience sleep paralysis. Yeah, something definitely visits you when you are having a sleep paralysis. I don't think life is good. There is an inmate we will have little control over. If aliens know how to shapeshift into humans, I will want them to teach me how I can shapeshift myself. They probably use technology. AI. So you worship a Jew. Jesus was a Jew. If you follow Jesus, why don't you only just worship the Most High? Jesus did not worship himself, he worshipped only the Most High. Why do you gotta worship something? Especially if you don't understand it. What's this obsession with like worship? Why do humans feel like they gotta worship something? Like it's strange, actually. Why can't you just live your life trying to like figure out what's going on than worshiping something that you don't understand at all? I mean, wouldn't you be worshiping these deities just because you are afraid or just because you've been told that you must worship these deities? Original Arabian. Hello, I've watched your views and I appreciate you. Thanks, thanks. Honor yourself, your own divinity. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, guys. Let's like the live. It's almost 2 hours. I'm gonna end the live in 2 minutes. So let's like the live and thank y'all guys for joining. Today I was not feeling well, but I had to do this live and yeah, thank y'all guys for joining. Let me see if there's a comment from a person that I have not responded to. FDEX. People are absolutely free to believe. Yeah, people can believe anything really. So are we gonna believe things that are gonna actually help us grow, or we're gonna believe things that are gonna make us uh, you know sabotage ourselves? Pamela Redock. How are you doing, Benedictine? Everything is bonkers, and you deserve good things like many others. No, thank you, thank you. Eric say my testimony is Jesus saved me. All right, thank you all guys. Thank you all for joining the live. Yeah, like the live. Normally, like my life, like 3 hours long. I'm just not feeling that good today, But I still had to do a live because I didn't drop a video today, and there's many comments that I've not responded to. I think next time when I do a live, I should actually like respond to comments more, because normally I just talk and you find that I'm not responding to comments, and I'm actually doing these lives to talk to y'all guys. So I think next time when I do a live, I'm going to just be responding to comments, and I'm going to try my best to respond to as many comments as possible. But yeah, thank you all guys.